Hello, hello. Welcome to Optimize and Conquer. My name is MJ Gordon, and today I'm going to talk to you about the pros and cons or differences of a 9-to-5 job versus entrepreneurship. So you guys all know that I love entrepreneurship. I love building business. I think it's a great way to self-improve and really challenge yourself to have some adversity so that you can grow and learn and continue to push yourself to be better at something. Whether you take on business or entrepreneurship, athletics and sports, some sort of hobby or linear thing like martial arts or yoga, any of the things that push you on a personal and spiritual journey that allow you to challenge the best of what you can be and to refine and grow that person, all the while fulfilling more value to yourself and your life and eventually spreading that out to others, I am a massive fan of. And for me, entrepreneurship has been that thing, except I do know that a lot of people are sometimes either on the fence or don't understand really what's involved with leaving a 9-to-5 or if entrepreneurship is even actually worth it. So I hope this video brings you some clarity or at least some clear ideas on the differences between the two and the benefits and the downsides of both as well. So let's go ahead and begin with the positives or the pros to having a 9-to-5 job. I definitely feel this as a business owner myself, and I'm very aware of this every single day. But 9-to-5 jobs give you steady work, steady income, steady clients. Most of the time, it's not your job to make sure that the business is up and running. You're not responsible for really anything except what your task is at hand. And typically, the pay scale reflects the level of difficulty or the amount of responsibility you have in any given position or company. So there's integrated benefits, and it makes it really easy, really straightforward. Everything is consistent and it's routine. Lastly, the cool thing about working at a 9-to-5 job is you have a pretty awesome community. I always made some really good friends at my job, and I always looked forward to, when I moved to a new place, getting a new job so that I can actually build a community around the people that I worked with and the people that I lived around. So those are some really great benefits of a 9-to-5 job. I know I sort of swept over the integrated benefits, but to just spotlight that a little bit, meaning typically when you get a job, and it's not always the case, but typically there are benefits such as maybe as minimal as a store discount all the way up to insurance. They are taking out your taxes, so withheld wages, as well as your Social Security and Medicare. You're not responsible really for having to manage or accounting for all those. So it's just as simple as showing up, doing the job, getting paid. So it's very, very straightforward, and that I feel like is a real big pro to a 9-to-5. The pros of being your own boss or owning your own company or venturing on the entrepreneurship journey is full and total control. So maybe you can call us control freaks. That's fine by me. But I love the fact that you get to control your time, the hours that you work, when you wake up, how much you want to work, how little you want to work, how much money you can make. Of course, there's a caveat to that in, say, the marketplace. Typically, when you're starting as an entrepreneur, you have to make sure that your prices are fair and reflect the marketplace value. But it doesn't mean that it has to be capped. A great example of this is therapy or life coaching. Typically, therapy sessions can start anywhere from $75 to $150 per session, or life coaching and counseling can range about the same. But then you have high-level coaches, people like Tony Robbins, or these mastermind groups that you can get into that cost tens of thousands of dollars to get that kind of specified coaching. Similarly, with taking a yoga class that's local for $10 to $20 per session, or hiring somebody who's a little more high level to coach you personally one-on-one like Tara Stiles, they charge a lot more. And so regardless of your profession or what it is that you do, there's technically no cap if you could get creative and really add enough value to deliver the price that you're worth. Next is work, the type of work you do. Who, what, how, where, when, all those things as an entrepreneur and your own boss are subjective to your preferences, and what you decide is what you want to do, or the parameters that you want to set for yourself. You also have full optimization. There's no limit. The freedom is really yours to take. Meaning, if you want to be a photographer and you want to be a very specific photographer, like I only want to photograph animals, you literally can. It's not like when you go to a job and they hand you your list of things that you have to do. There's some stuff you don't really care for, some stuff you might enjoy. You can literally say, I don't like the customer service part, or I don't like the business filing part, and you can hire that out. It is your job to do that. Similarly, on the downside or the cons of entrepreneurship, it's kind of the opposite of the 9 to 5. You have to be in full total control. You're responsible for everything. So if you're not bringing business in, you're not making money, it's your fault. You're responsible. You don't have anything to lean on. And because of that, you have to have a no excuses personality to really make it and see it through. Another downside is that we're not really trained for this stuff. The way that we're sort of bred and taught in school is to be factory workers or employees. We clock in, we clock out, we show up at our desk, we stand in a line, and that was created in the Industrial Revolution so that we can learn to become good factory workers. But in fact, we're not really trained for entrepreneurship and sort of navigating through the sea of unknown to find solutions to problems that we didn't even know we had, you know, and it's this ongoing process of trying to navigate. The beautiful thing is now with the online access at our fingertips, on our phones, on our computers, so many people are coming out with ways or formulas, processes that teach us to do that. So that is a beautiful thing now that is starting to become more evident and clear. There are no work-integrated benefits. You're responsible for figuring out what insurance to pay for. You need to buy it. You need to file your taxes. You need to file your taxes. You need to file your taxes right. If you've been following my journey, you'll know that I had one good year where this was an awesome lesson for me. You need to figure out the important stuff and have your ducks in order. Nobody's gonna do it for you, and there's a lot of ducks to put in order. The downsides of a 9 to 5 are the opposite of the benefits of entrepreneurship. You're capped in how often you have to work. You have so many sick days and vacation days. If you don't like working with somebody, you gotta deal with it. Like, you just gotta deal with it. If you don't like some of your tasks, you gotta deal with it. And maybe in certain occasions, you can talk with the manager or the person you work for and work something out. But most often, you are at the mercy of your job and what your boss is or what the company expects you to do. And that, I think, was the toughest thing for me, was waking up day in, day out, getting in the car, sitting in traffic, having to get myself dressed. I wasn't paid for that time. I get to the office and it was just the same routine over and over and over again. For myself, I found a downside being that the growth in the company was very little and most often focused on money or numbers, projected goals. And in reaching those goals, the benefit wasn't necessarily personal growth for me, like a deeper, more meaningful growth. It was more just in the service of the company, in the service of getting bonuses and checks and whatever, like trying to increase my wage, which was limited. You know, at a certain point, you become limited. And then I watched 2009 happen, and when the economy crashed, I watched so many CEOs and people in my company just get the rug pulled out from under because people were trying to save money, and a lot of times the first people to get cut or fired were the most expensive people. And this happens so often. This happened to my mom. She worked for a company for nearly 15 years, and because she's the oldest one working there, overpaid, and there was a lot of really young, eager people that could be paid less and deliver a similar amount of work, there was really nothing my mom could do. So the cool thing about owning your own business, in opposition to that downside of 9 to 5, is the more that you learn and grow and cultivate more value, you get paid in a way that it reflects that amount of effort and that amount of growth. In a company, you can work up the ladder, but working up that ladder, even at the top, you're still at the mercy of the company. You still depend on that company to ensure your income, your job, and all of that. So that to me is like a big big, massive downside. And like I said, maybe I'm just a control freak. So I'd rather make sure that I'm responsible for my own money and my own failures and my own success. But that is a really big downside, I think, to the 9 to 5 in relation to the being your own boss. And ultimately, that's probably really the only downside, other than in some cases, it's not all cases, but the marketplace could be unfair and competitive and like dog eats dog kind of world. I know I hear a lot about that in corporate America. I have seen it, not really experienced it for myself, but I know it exists, and that can be really tough. And I really feel like in the entrepreneur space, everybody is rooting everybody on. The more that you can collaborate and network and develop relationships in the entrepreneur space, the more successful that you can be. Like, you are helping one another, and there's competition within the marketplace. But at the same time, there's so much benefit and value in sharing and growing together. And I really, really love that atmosphere and that culture so much more than a lot of what I experience in the 9 to 5 is people who just come in, do the routine. They're mundane, they're depressed, they're over it. They just complain a lot. They don't really love their jobs. Not a lot of passion or creativity going around. So you guys know what I prefer. Obviously, I am hands down fanatical about entrepreneurship. And this is also just from my perspective. So if you think I'm missing any positives or negatives about either one, please stick it in the comments below so that people can see and we can start a conversation about it. I'd love to hear what you guys think, or what you like, or what you choose to do. Is it stay at a 9 to 5 job, or become an entrepreneur, or own your own business? And why? If you haven't already, check out my free 5 solid ways to make money online. If you're interested in how to do that, maybe generate a little side income for yourself, or go full on leaving your 9 to 5 and becoming an entrepreneur, becoming your own boss. I love this stuff, and I love that we're starting conversations about it. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your input, and thanks for sticking around. I'll see you guys next time. Ciao.